while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong. I guess I felt. Since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong. I guess I found out. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong, bro.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to week number 4 on the ISU Junior Grand Prix Day 2 competition here. I'm Ted Bard. Mark Hanready will be joining us from his home studio in Nottingham. Well, the second event of today is the pairs free program, the first medal event, and the outstanding performance of DeRoche and Thrasher of Canada earned them a 59.41. Absolutely outstanding. Can they come back with a strong free program? They had a problem last time out at the free. Hopefully they can pull it off here today. In second place, Flores and Wang from the United States at 54.93, and in third place, Ehrhard and Pellegris from France at 50.42. 13 teams from 8 countries. The pairs free program starts right now. Welcome, everyone, back to Ankara, Turkey, week number 4 in the ISU Junior Grand Prix. I'm Ted Bard, along with Mark Hanready, as we fly over the facility here. I've never seen a city with so many apartment buildings. It's just incredible, and it's spread out over a very, very large area. Home to 5 million people here in Ankara. Beautifully clean, well organized, efficient, and the highways, although sometimes busy, not stacked like some of the cities we've seen in North America as we take a look at the officials for this event. Welcome, Mark, back to the broadcast. You had a short break?
Yes, a short break, and good to see as we look at the officials there. Good to see the Canadian judge back on the panel. I think yesterday I think it was a Canadian judge was unable to take part because of illness.
Yeah, she was ill, and it's good to have her back on the panel. So the whole process and procedures for all that, and when you travel around the world, it can be, you know, lots of fatigue, perhaps different food, or you just sat beside somebody on the plane that was really sick, right? So, you know, we were all better off, you know, just after COVID when everybody had masks on and everybody's well protected. But nowadays we're sort of somewhat back to normal.
Yes. It was interesting. I was watching some skating clips, and then a complete digression. I apologize for talking a complete diversion. But this morning, my daughter has a little ballroom dance exam later today. And so I put on, while she was preparing to get ready for school, I put on YouTube a ballroom competition for her to watch. And they were all wearing masks, the spectators and the judges and the officials. And it just, you forget how that was our way of life, and it wasn't that long ago.
Well, at the moment that it happened, you thought this will be the rest of our lives. It'll be like that because you didn't know that it would end, right? So how cute is that? Well, you have to let us know how she did.
Well, I have to struggle to. This is where, as we watch Zara Wood and Alex Lapsky, we think about the parents, because Zara's stepdad is here, Chris Boyaji. Her mum, Zoe Wood, watches at home, and it's just incomprehensible to consider. For me, I'm thinking, you know, my 7-year-old is going for a very early preliminary exam and a new hobby, and it's me that's watching the world's best ballroom stars because I want her to watch what the best is. And it's just a real challenge to navigate the the parenting and the teaching of life as well as sport.
Well, you're certainly going to, you already do, because you're very perceptive that way, but you're going to understand what the parents really go through. And I do. I have such an appreciation for parents of athletes and of artists, scholastic, those people who endeavor to be high performers in whatever field they choose, and what the parents do at home. And they give everything they possibly can to the pursuit of excellence for their children, and they sit at home and they go through all the emotions up and down and all the doubts. Will it work? Will it not work? What will it mean for the life? And, you know, this is just part of the job, not the job, the pleasure, really, and you're part of life of parenting. And if you didn't have that, you wouldn't enjoy it as much. You know, you're gonna have, just like skating, you're gonna have your highs and you're gonna have your lows, and you're gonna have your rocky roads and smooth highways. And it's just, as we say in this one movie, I think it's called Parenting. It was Steve Martin's in it, and the old grandma says, just like a roller coaster, up and down, and all around, right? It's such a wise statement.
So true.
Yeah, it really
so
is.
true. And it's interesting because yesterday we had the good fortune of chatting, listening to the interview that you conducted with the parents of Ilya Malin and Tatiana Malin and Roman Skoniakov, that interview discussing parenting, and then hearing about Kirsten Murtaugh as an Olympian and world-class skater and her perceptions. And quite often, I think elite athletes then they go on a precipice of they then don't want their children to follow in the footsteps of them because they've lived all the challenges. But then it was interesting to hear Kirsten acknowledge that while she's been vocal about the challenges that she's had as an elite skater, she then also articulated that it was the most amazing life experience. So she was very articulate in acknowledging both the blessings and the curses. Like you said from that film, the up, the down, the roundabout.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, and I think that she would do it again if given that opportunity. But there's a part of you that she didn't know. She didn't want to do pairs because people suggested that she did do pairs. She didn't want to give in to that. So, you know, as children grow up, they say, well, I don't want to do that because their parents are telling them, not because it's not wise to do it, because they just don't want to do it because the parents told them, right? So, you know, that's just life. That's just the wonderfulness of life, the challenges and the successes and the breakthroughs, and then the unexpected moments in life when you see your children take control, grow up, and you are now the child. Now, you have to be a lot older to get that, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so interesting. And then, you know, hearing, I didn't mean to make it awkward for Kirsten, but I'm saying, oh, was your stubbornness and not wanting to do something both a blessing and a curse? And I think, you know, when I think now about, you know, as a parent myself, I'm desperately eager for them to be hardworking and diligent and disciplined and focused, and I think sometimes the more that I pursue that, the more that I create the
you push them away.
Opposite.
No, you push them away. They have to be. You want to tell them. One of the brilliant things that my wife does or did with Katya was tell her stories not related to her, not related to us, not related to anybody, but stories of people that she had heard about that were not personal. She wasn't using that as you must do this. She was using it as a story for Katya to consider. What was what happened? What was the story about? Then she'd ask more questions about it, and she learned a lesson from listening to a story of someone else. So it wasn't about us or her. And I thought that was very smart because once you start pointing the finger or the words towards your child, then it's all about them, and then you stop hearing what you're saying because it's a direction or it's a request, right? So anyways, so many different ways of parenting, and it's interesting discussion. To follow up or to finish this, we salute the parents watching their children right now here in Ankara.
Amen.
We know what you've been through, and it's just tremendous help. Of course, you'd always give your children. We appreciate everything you do.
So Chris Boyaji, a former World Championship competitor himself in this discipline, encourages onto the ice Zara Wood and Alex Lapsky. Some delightful young people who still new to this international competitive circuit. He's such a charming and excitable, like almost like a lapdog. I think that's what Coach Zoe described Alex Lapsky as. Just such a bundle of energy, and that reaction was fun.
Yeah, they went for the throw triple loop, which was really cool, Mark.
Yeah, and I was just trying to scramble through to see when they competed at the Czech skate in Ostrava. I don't think that they did the second throw as triple.
No.
And I know that it's difficult for this team. They're on this roller coaster of Junior Grand Prix now. They weren't joyful with the result at Czech skate. They were a little frustrated to find themselves obviously bottom of the path, the short program here, and yet the way in which they've conducted themselves now with a relatively clean skate apart from that final throw is really impressive in how they've turned around any frustrations they've experienced.
That's a really good point. Here's the twist. This is still under construction. There's a lot of toe picking there by Alex, slowing that down a little bit. He'll learn to glide through that a bit better in the future. Here's this throw triple Salko. This is awesome. Look her in the air. Zara just knows exactly where she is, when to check that free leg out. It's really brilliant. That's comfortable. She hasn't learned that yet on the loop as we take a look at some of the fun part of the program here.
And, you know, as we see this lift, of course, the team's still working on refinement. And here, you can see is the change of position. There's a need to just engage the body more in the aesthetics of the shaping. But as we see the throw triple loop, I feel like this will calm their... They found their thing.
She got the blade. Yeah, no, she got the blade all the way around. Body wasn't, but the blade was. So that's a good start, putting that throw triple loop in competition at this time of the year. Nicely done. No, they have a really great, happy disposition. So that's great.
I think that's Mom. So excited to see for Zara and Alex what will happen now beyond this. Hopefully they'll have a little bit more time before their national championships to be able to continue to refine. The period of time between events is an opportunity to really make changes in the skating skills or make changes in the element construction. Now hopefully they have a little bit longer in which to just review with Chris and Zoe the technique on the split twist, because as you know so well, Ted, there's not opportunity in between events to really knuckle down and make fundamental changes. Now, hopefully, mid-season they'll have a chance to catch their breath and just move forward to make big points improvements for the next one.
When are the Nationals in Great Britain?
National Championships tends to be beginning of December, late November, beginning of December.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the free program scores for Zara and Alex. There's 66.39, first team out, of course, and they thought, okay, that doesn't look too bad. And that is actually higher. That's their new personal best, new season's best, with a 103.61. They break that 100-point mark as they start this competition in the free program. Lots of personalities, that's for sure. And that'll serve them well moving forward.
And now to the first of two teams who I believe are competing in back-to-back Junior Grand Prix, scheduled to compete again in Gdansk next week. Nikola Sitkova and Oliver Kubacak representing Slovakia. Nikola Sitkova and Oliver Kubacak, and Oliver perhaps just showing us there the exhaustion of the program, the very ending closing section of the program, whether or not that'll come down as a fall. I think he managed to maintain his weight over his blade, so should be okay, but certainly he kind of have the exhaustion.
He kind of held that position as if, oh no, I meant to put my knee down here. Like, yeah.
Nikola was the one that looked then like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah. And here's the twists. This team is still early on in its development of pair elements, so they're going to be a little bit rough. Here's they're just hitting more simple. There's the throw double salcho. That was nicely done. Well executed. Good technique. There's that group 5 reverse where the girl is turned backwards and doesn't really see the man's hand for lifting and has to just feel her way through that. There's the change of position, grab the blade. Good turns. Carry a little bit more speed and flow across the ice, but that will come in lots of more training as we see the group 3 lift, hand to hip. This comes in a level 4, so all 4 features: change of position, difficult hold, difficult position, and there's the dismount. Throw double Lutz, or flip that is. And here's the forward inside death spiral. This comes in at level 2, so missing, and that's probably the easiest. Most pair teams will say that the forward inside is the easiest death spirals. He just puts down the knee and goes, good, here's my pose, right?
Coach Rastislav Friak, and this team, they skated well. The twist comes in at a level 4, both lifts in at level 4, so their pairs elements strong and comfortable. They were 13th at Junior Worlds last year, and I'm sure in the off season they'll have been working on upping the difficulty of the throws and the side-by-sides, but they're consistent and solid and united as a team.
Yeah, that was, I think, a pretty good overall performance. Their personal best is 75.45 in the free program. We'll see whether they can catch that score here with this one, but we're not sure. And really for them, it's just the process of, okay, we have another competition under our belt. How are we doing? What do we need to improve for our next competition? Where is that? And whether it's another international or the nationals coming up, they have a little bit of time to get back on track.
And I think this team is competing in Gdansk next week, so then, because they've skated relatively cleanly here, how much can they push the components? Can next week they go out and give significantly more presentation? Can they look engaged and committed in the dance break to make the judges take their components from the 4s into the 5s?
Yeah, sorry, Mark, you're right, absolutely. Next week, this is not their second one on the Junior Grand Prix this season, so they'll skate back to back, which makes sense when you're here in Europe. It's not a huge amount of travel, and you've had a little bit more time to prepare, so we'll see how that unfolds next week.
And it'd be fascinating to hear from Rastislav and just see where the coaches are at and how can they maximize the brain space of Nikola and Oliver for the next few days. What can they hone in on? Can they, where will the coach's approach be? Could it be, can we get a forward inside death bar level 3 and add points that way? Or can we just focus on grades of execution? Yeah. So many ways in which the team can try push.
Free program score 71.62 for Nikola and Oliver, and that is first in the free program. With a total competition score of 108.87. Second team out, but they are, for the moment at least, in first place.
And now to Lise Regnier and Luca Nandrot, and they looked to be having a little bit of a problem. He was nursing a shoulder, and I hope that all is okay in regards to the injuries and fitness of this team as they start their free skate. Oh, a delicate end and a nice connection between Regnier and Luca Nandrot representing France. And I thought that the warm-up looked like Luca was in pain and struggling, and yet they valiantly pushed through their free skate.
I really like the throws of this team. The pickup is really nice, good air position, checks out nice and early, has a good run on the landing. It is just a throw double now, but the basic mechanics, he moves out of her way as he passes her through up into the air really nicely, and this is going to serve them well as they start to do those throw triple jumps. The technique is really solid. Let's take a look at some of the elements here. Here's the twist. And this is in at level 2, so getting 2 out of the 4 features. The throw double Sacco, you can see that she's just too far forward on the toes and slips off that, but she got up so quickly. It was amazing. The technique was good, just too far forward of the landing a bit. There is that group 3 lift. And that comes down. That is actually in at a level 1. And there is the group 4 lift, and that was better. Still working on some of the pair elements. It takes a while to get comfortable. Here's that throw double loop. That was nice. Touchdown with the free foot, but still, mechanics were good.
And the thing that I'm always so reminded of in the pairs discipline is that whilst we get accustomed in seniors to seeing the lifts being without any error, the value and the weight of the lifts on the tech score is huge. So a group 5 lift at level 4 is 7 points, which is incredibly valuable. And yet when we see in the juniors, of course, those are more variable in their success rate, and we're seeing skaters not attempting the features that will secure the level 4. So that's still to come. We often reference the more visible throw triple, but the lifts are really the most valuable.
Yeah, the lifts too, with all those features that are available, create a lot of motion. And while this team is gaining and learning stability of his turns and her positions, better to have it a little bit more simple, keep the levels down, don't have so much movement up there until you're really solid. 60.46, that's third in the free program for Elise and Luca. And that will give them a total overall competition score of 98.57, and that'll put them currently into third place. And voila, there it is, one group done. As group number 2 take to the ice for their warm-up. Mark, I think you have some more questions.
Yes, thank you to those sending in questions to the International Skating Union Instagram page. The next question that comes from Chelsea Burgess, a really interesting one. At what stage or age of development are skaters transitioned to ice dance or pairs skating? And that is a very variable answer.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of it, you know, it's not normal that a pair or a dance team starts at the age of sort of 7, 8, or 9, because that's just too young. They need to learn the basic skating skills. That might happen at the earliest stage of around 10, 11, or 12. Even that is early. So, you know, that generally happens sort of maybe mid-teens, before mid-teens perhaps, depends on how early, and they can be later as well. Everybody's a little bit different, and they progress and learn at different ages and stages of life. But you wouldn't start them earlier, that's for sure. They don't have the physical capacity to handle any lifting and things like that, so it's really basic skating. They might be side by side earlier, that'd be fair enough, but that'd be pretty much it.
Yeah, and it's interesting you reference it, because I was just looking at the teams competing next week, and the American Katarina Wolf-Kosten, I was reading up on that team, and she started skating at 5 and she was partnering at 9. And I think in ice dance it's certainly more achievable to team up in ice dance than it would be in pairs, dare I say it, but then I suppose that's me coming as a non-pair skater.
No, I think you're right.
For a lot of the elements.
No, I think you're right, and you've got the compulsory dances to learn when you're younger, and no, that's fine. But in pair skating, it's hard, because if you're on a session with other skaters, it can be, you know, unless the coaches are really good and know how to organize the sessions well, it's really side-by-side skating is what it is, you know. And so that's kind of like your compulsories of pair skating as opposed to the compulsory dances, but yeah.
And then the other factor to consider in regards to when a skater might transition. So I transitioned from singles to ice dance, but I was 18 years of age, and a lot of what occurred for me is the same for many of the athletes, is the geography of your ice skating education. So for maybe Will Costin, I don't know, but the skater that I mentioned who started in ice dance earlier, perhaps they are training in an environment or a rink which already has an established pairs or dance program. For me and for like many others, single skating is the primary education, and so most rinks, the coaches will hone in on that, and so you're not exposed to these disciplines, and therefore it might be off your radar until a later stage.
No, that's very true. Very true. Okay, you have another question?
Yes, next question. Oh gosh. Advice for someone who will step on the ice for the very first time.
Step on the ice at the same time you're holding the boards. That probably is the best piece of advice that I have. And just get the feel of the blade beside the board, and you know where the pick is, or where the end of the blade is, and yeah, just stabilize yourself to get yourself comfy. Well, you're not going to be comfy on day one, but get yourself a little bit more comfy.
I actually remember quite vividly my very first ice skating session. I remember having watched the Olympics. I remember having watched European and World Championships, and then pestering my parents to take me. We went one weekend on what was a busy public session with like the dark lights, the disco lights, and the loud music. And we had the higher skates that the rink have that are, as we now know, aren't great. And I remember thinking, well, wait a minute, why am I not like the people on the TV? I thought it was going to be easy. Why can I not do this as well as the people I've been watching? This is annoying.
Well, that's a point. I remember yesterday I was talking to the adult skater here, Naz, who has won medals at the Oberstdorf adult competition. And she, I think, is around 40 years old, and she started skating in 2011. And, you know, looking at that going, okay, well, that looks maybe fun or maybe easy. And when you first step on the ice, because it does look easy, when we just saw some nice jumps side by side, you go, oh, well, okay, I wonder how long it'll take me to be able to do that. Maybe a couple weeks, right? You know, this is so much harder. And when you watch adult skating, you see how hard it is. They have the same joy, and they go a lot slower. But it's difficult. It really is. But it's also fun.
Yeah, I was thinking after we discussed yesterday about skating itself, and for the competitive skaters who perhaps now skate with a goal in mind, with a competitive pursuit in mind, how often do they get the chance to skate just for joy? And it's navigating the joy when you've got goals and objectives and clear
that's a good point.
deadlines to achieve.
It's a good point. Sometimes the joy comes in really having done what you wanted to do in competition. That's a great feeling. It's so hard though. You could go to 10, 15 competitions and not feel happy because you didn't do what you feel that you should do or could do. And so that, I always talk about the elusive program, but when you do hit it, it is a high. It's a major high.
Talking about joy on the ice, though, I think it's Addison McDonald, the skater on screen now. She looks like her way, perhaps, and it might just be entirely her way, is preparing for competition, is just to play, joke, be joyful. Maybe it's nerves, but she appears to ooze a certain joy on the ice now.
Well, we saw her sort of dancing and moving to the music a little earlier in the warm-up session here, and just sort of enjoying the moment. She's got a big smile on her face as she passes her coach. You can tell she's excited, nervous and excited, and you want both those feelings. A little bit of nerves, you know, with a lot of excitement. Here we go. We filled the gap pretty good on that one, didn't we?
With not many questions, just our own warble.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, to Addison McDonald and Aaron Felberbaum, who have showcased joy in the warm-up, let's hope now that there's joy at the end of the 3.5-minute free skate for the American 16-year-old and 19-year-old. Well,
fun.
what a wonderful character. Addison McDonald, Aaron Felberbaum. We'd hoped that the joy from the warm-up would extend beyond the programme, and it definitely has. And as you were saying, Ted, just a perfectly well-balanced programme for the team as they are.
Addison has this joie de vivre that she wears on her face in everything she does, and yet when the program came to Love Story, she calmed herself down and skated beautifully, and it looks like she's had some dance training, some off-ice dance training, and a beautiful posture. There's the double twist that's in at a level 2, so getting 2 out of those 4 features. The double flips, nice unison, good, up and down, single axle and single axle. Their technique on their jumps are the same, so that's why that unison was really beautiful. That Group 5, a reverse lift entry, so difficult, little slow on the turns here, and I'm sure that that Aaron is just learning, wanting to be safe with the lift for sure, and then as he gains more confidence, there'll be a little bit more flow. Nice throw, double loop, pointed toes, good running edge there. That's set up nicely for a triple coming soon, I'm sure. I really like this team, really like the basic qualities that they have, and her joy, both of their joy.
Yeah, and I think when we think about similar content plan, program content, others that we've seen in the first group, this team had a 68.86 at the John Nix competition earlier in the summer. They haven't, I imagine, increased their difficulty hugely, but the grades of execution and the program component scores, as they're joined by Chris Needham in the Kiss and Cry, will showcase now a big score improvement.
Yeah, really nice job, and you can see how she's all in on this. She loves it, and so does he.
I can see the adrenaline coursing through still.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go do another program. Get better. Okay, it's moving her legs.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
great
Yes, Figure Skating
anticipation.
Fan Zone says that he can unicycle and juggle at the same time on a 6-foot unicycle.
Oh my
So there you
God.
go.
82.36. Look at that. She said, oh my God. Look at her jumping around. That is burst. That is too charming. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the passion for the sport right there in their reaction. 121.82 as they take over the lead. Isn't that nice? That's fuel
And that's
for the fire within. Cool.
And now to the Italian team of Polina Polman and Gabriele Renaldi. They competed in Ostrava. They were in 5th place at that event. Some challenges in the short program, but a high five, hoping for a clean skate to move up. Polina, Polman and Gabriel Renaldi, they've changed their planned program content to their first Junior Grand Prix in Ostrava. And that their attempt to continue pushing, increasing their difficulty. Last time they did double salchos, this time triple salchos. And it's just interesting, Ted, to see the tactical decisions for the team, because they attempted an increased difficulty, but because obviously that increased difficulty comes with more risk, their points on this occasion on that element will be lower than the easier version that they produced previously. But at some point, they've got to push themselves to include that harder task.
You have to. And this is the part of the season where you do that, even if, but not in this case, even if you're sort of vying for those points for the Junior Grand Prix final, you've got to push it. Otherwise, you don't peak at the right time with all the elements you need. Here's the triple twist. It's a level 1, and here's the triple salchos. This got a little bit messy afterwards, but good for them to get that in the program. Single axle, different times. It's out of sync. Here's the group 5 axle lift difficult entry. He was in a spread eagle, picks that up, locks the arm, grabs the blade. She grabs the blade and the dismount. Just level 3 though, missing one of the features to get forward. Throw triple salcho. That was so sweet, so nice, and you saw a smile the rest of the way for her. She was so happy with that one.
Especially after that popped throw in the short program, that just the reason they find themselves here. And it's interesting because this had split triple twists, side-by-side triples, throw triples. The previous performance from the American team, just doubles on all the same elements, but of course with the doubles they were able to give better grades of execution. And it's just understanding for Polina and Gabrielle, if they see this score go below somebody, you know, they were 5th last time, they want to be moving upward, not thinking about what's behind them, but it's just understanding with Coach Luca, this is tactical.
Yeah.
For the long term.
This is really good. We always talk about the bad moments being the learning moments, and I think you see that here right now. You see the result of those bad moments. You saw a smile on her face. They're more happy, regardless of what the score is going to be. They are more happy with what they produce here. They saw a fight back, a comeback, and progress being made. And you need that. That's where the highs and the lows. You have those low emotional moments with mistakes. You don't know why. You don't understand. You wonder whether you can do it again, whether you can do it well again, and then all of a sudden you come back and you deliver and you go, okay, I actually can do that. I'm going to have my bad days, but I know how to get out of them. And I think we see that here today.
And I think with Polina and Gabrielle, they look good together, great match. She holds lovely position in the air. They've obviously got throw triples they've got throw triples, they've got side-by-side triples. The team has the potential for greatness, which is very much under construction, as you say.
They do, absolutely, yeah. And Luca does a great job with so many of his skaters and patiently building progress for the future. Free program score is 78.96. That is second in the free program. As Gabrielle goes, oh, okay, all right. Total competition score of 118.97, which will put them into second place. You can see Polina is maybe a little bit disappointed with the scores. Focus on what you've accomplished here, what you can accomplish, because you have all those skills. Put your eyes clearly set forward, in forward gear, and keep moving because you got it.
And now to Claudia Sinclair Scotti and Noah Quesada Grau, 16 and 17 years of age. And I really appreciated the refinement and some of the aspects that they brought in the short program. Claudia, Sinclair, Scotti and Noah Quesada Grau showcasing what huge strides they have made forwards in the off-season. Last year at the Junior World Championships, they didn't make the cut after the short program. They were 18th of the 19 teams there, and yet here they look so composed. The least matched part of the performances they're back.
Yeah, no, I thought they did a great job. I think they were planning to throw triple Salchow, so I think she was a bit disappointed. You could see her pop it open to a double. Pretty sure it wasn't intentional, but they have some really nice basic skills. The lifts are good. He is such a good turner on the lift, so smooth across the ice. Noah just glides. He knows how to pick up the blade, so there's no drag and there's no toe picks really. So that's a great thing to have. You need that, as we know that the lifts carry a lot of points on them. Let's take a look at some of the elements in this program. I'm just starting to establish. There's the double twist. That was really nicely done at level 3 of difficulty. Look at this. Oh, I wanted to see that group 5 reverse of that right hand had to move back quickly so he could pick her up with that. Then she lets go, puts the right hand out, and is sitting on her left hand. Good turns across the ice, good flow, down on his back a little bit here. I think that was in only at a level 3. Here's the group 4 lift, hand-to-hand pressure, nice turned out toes, good position by Claudia. Change of position. Look at the speed he carries. You don't see any snow. Wonderful flow across the ice. And that lift is in at a level 4 with a plus GOE. So really, really good lifting technique. And here's the difficult entry into the spread eagle. A spread eagle into the death spiral. Pardon me, spread eagle by him. And then down into the death spiral. This is in at a level 3. So the difficult entry in probably 2 revolutions.
And Claudia and Noah were, they were one of 3 teams in the short program who had no value on their death spiral, so they'll be so much happier to have had the forward inside death spirals to choose from in the free skate as opposed to the backward outside mandatory one they struggled with in the short program.
No kidding. That backward outside one is really difficult for the juniors. Easier for the seniors. They're stronger, have more experience and more time, but still one of the harder elements in the program, back outside death spiral.
Coach Barbara Luone, and it's interesting because I see so much of Barbara's other students, her senior students, in the way that Claudia moves, but you wonder, is that the coaching or is that being in an environment also where you're exposed to former world medalists? And I think what a great environment they have in Bergamo with their coach and fellow training mates.
Well, let's take a look at the scores for the free program here for Claudia and Noah. The season best 81.95. That'll put them second in the free program, but a total competition score of 122.13, and that will put them into first place after the first 2 groups. What a nice job. What a super lifting team. That's awesome. Bodes extremely well for their journey in this discipline as they move from junior to senior in years to come. Mark, we take a break on the ice resurfacing. What do we have in the movie playback list?
So a chance to look back at the winners interview from Ostrava with Zhang and Feng from China, and then the mic'd up series with the charismatic Italian ice dance coach Walter Rizzo. Before then, the next Chinese team that won in Riga, Zhang and Wang. Mic'd up series with Fabien Bourza, former French ice dancing star, now a coach. And finally, the Junior Grand Prix Yerevan backstage antics from last season.
A full schedule of videos. Enjoy. We'll be back right after this.
Congratulations. How are you both feeling?
我现在感觉非常棒，我非常开心，然后可以代表我的祖国来这里参战，我感到非常的荣幸，我感到非常的光荣。
And how are you feeling?
我跟他一样，也是很开心呢。我跟他一样，也是开心，代表祖国来参赛。
And now your compatriots won the first Junior Grand Prix in Riga last week. Did that inspire you coming into this event?
我认为就是开了一个赛季，为我们做了一个榜样。哥哥姐姐们滑的都非常棒，然后我看到他们，我感觉到非常的有信心。 非常的开心，反正。
我认为也是哥哥姐姐给我们开了一个好头，能让我们在这身上有信心了。
So huge congratulations, Gongxini, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
谢谢
Thank you.
Delicious.
But where do you buy the shoes? The other one I like too. This one is too much to me.
Too much for you?
Guarda cos'è? È un ordine. Vieni su che sei con noi. Vieni. Qui. Sì. Mi fa piacere. Sì, sì, assolutamente sì. Per cui vai tranquillo come stamattina senza nessun problema. Mi fa, ma sei una superstar? Faccio no, sono vecchio. Bend, ok, pass and look crazy, dance. Okay, spend time to watch the judges on the ice. Bring them with you on the ice. Okay, make them dance. Okay, don't be boring. Okay, you are trained to do this one, you go like this. Guys. Bene così, capito? Tutto qua, è tutto qua, capito? Presente in ogni passo. Oh, devi essere showman. Sì, lo farò. Capito? Stai con lei però. Stai con lei. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Come on! Meno 6 punti e vediamo quanto prendiamo. Con la caduta e tutto saranno 10.
Cioè il secondo e il terzo quanto siamo giocati?
No? Third place. It's ok. Gli devi dare il mio numero di telefono. He has everything.
Here's everything. Oh, you're lazy. You need to give it to me.
I am the assistant of the assistant, and he is my assistant. It's a long line.
Jiaxuan, Yihan, congratulations on winning your first Junior Grand Prix. Now, I understand this is your first competition internationally together. That's correct?
我用说中文吗？可以。首先我很高兴可以代表我的国家来这里参赛，然后这也是我作为我们两个搭伴以来第一次的参加国际的赛事。我很开心可以来到这个地方来比赛，因为不管是这个地方的一些文化，还有这些地方的一些冰场和设施，都让我们非常的喜欢。然后这一次比赛我们发挥的还算是比较理想。
And did you have any expectations or goals coming into the competition?
我们其实来这里的第一目标就是想为国争光吧，代表我的祖国来这里嘛。第一的肯定是为国争光，第二呢就是希望有一个能拿到更好的一个名次，来证明自己吧。因为毕竟是第一次出来比赛嘛，还是希望就是能有一个很好的一个开始。对，起到一个很好的开头的作用。
So you've won your first competition, your first Junior Grand Prix. We're keen to know what are your goals for the rest of the season.
我觉得其实不一定说是每一场比赛都会有可能，都会百分百的会拿到第一名。所以说在每一场比赛吧，还是要去跟自己去较量，而且每一次的比赛遇到对手他也会不一样 ，it's different。所以我觉得还是要是跟自己比，然后把每一个动作都做到最好。
把我们自己的水平都发挥出来，发挥到最好的状态。
So, huge congratulations. Now, can you teach me some Chinese? Maybe thank you. I can say thank you.
谢谢。
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 You did it good. Okay, 谢谢. Congratulations. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
You smoke.
Kids are not fun nowadays.
Yeah.
Don't forget it's in English.
So before you start running, I'd like to go over what you need to focus on. Mon pauvre Martin, tu veux que je le fasse en français vraiment? Yeah, they're not used like to speak English. It's funny. We need to do more training camp abroad. Change. C'est bien qu'il y ait que la caméra, vous pouvez pas dire non? Ouais. Non, mais c'est juste histoire d'avoir un. I mean, it's her first Grand Prix. And they're not together for so long, so it's a good experience. And she improved like a lot on the expression. She was like little shut down in the beginning.
She looks more relaxed, like she's enjoying it more.
Well, we're gonna see when she's gonna be on the ice, you know? Ok, Martin, mettez-vous ensemble. Ouais, vous pouvez marcher, mais marcher main dans la main, ça vous donnera une dynamique de marcher ensemble déjà. Si vous marchez ensemble, ce sera plus simple pour patiner ensemble. Boo. Breathe. Take your time. Okay, let's get calm. Okay, but with energy. You need to be sharp, you need to be bold. Okay.
Nice to see.
Try. Yeah? Allez, lâchez un peu là. Pour une première, c'était bien? Ouais? Il y avait des petits moments où c'était pas tout à fait ensemble, mais de manière générale, c'était une bonne perf. Bravo. Non, c'est pas mal. C'est une première, hein. Les gens vous connaissent pas, vous êtes nouveau, c'est bien. C'est un bon début.
So, ready for the last day, Mark?
I'm ready.
Let's go! Let's go. Oh, that was awful. Let's go. That was pathetic. Welcome back, everyone, to Ankara and the pairs free program, the final two groups. I'm Ted Barton, along with Mark Hanratty. We saw that near collision just a moment ago in the warm-up. It doesn't happen very often in pairs. It's much more common in ice dance. You reckless ice dancers, you, Mark.
Yes, they are rascals.
Yes, for sure. So do we have any more questions that have come in that need to be answered, sir?
I do not believe so. I think this is our plea for questions. Actually, you have stated that you have had the most interesting question that you have ever had in your multiple years of experience in the Junior Grand Prix today regarding introverts and extroverts in combinations as an ice dance team partnership. If anybody can top that, then you will get nothing but great respect from Mr. Ted Barton.
Well, from both of us, I think, you know, it was really a well thought out question, or lucky, one or the other, I don't know. But no, it's interesting when you're putting people together, what combination of personalities do you want, do you need? And I don't think anybody actually intentionally. But if you think of even in partnerships and marriages, you know, sometimes opposites attract and make a really good couple because you have some opposite personality traits. And I never ever thought of that in pair teams, pair skating. And I mean, you thought it would just naturally happen, but would there be a strategy? All these two personalities would fit great, but usually there's a shortage of men. So you just take what you can get in regards to, you can't argue about the personality. You know, so it's an interesting question, and considers, you know, takes more thought perhaps, but I thought it was really brilliantly thought out. So thank you for that. Okay.
And I think normally certainly for me as an ice dancer, so often it was the consideration of the physical match of the two humans, and so often it'd be, oh, is that partner going to be too tall or not tall enough, or your leg length's the same for the aesthetic, and yet the consideration of, well, what are the temperaments and what are the humans like, I think just as much, if not more, importance in the longevity of a team, but then it's a little bit dependent upon the numbers available to the coach, because you know, if you it's getting a bit hairy out there. If you're wanting to create ice dance teams or pair teams for an international competition, then you need a man, you need a woman, and you need, you know, the right match. So in an ideal world, we'd be able to pick and choose both with the mental aspect and the physical aspect, utterly harmonious.
Yeah, well, you need partners, and I think that, you know, it's going to be interesting to see which direction the sport goes in many years to come. So, but I think you're right. We've always talked about physical matches, and now perhaps personality matches are just as important if you have the luxury to go that direction. And I think for the most part, at least at this point, coaches don't have that luxury. There's not so many, but we'll see what happens down the road. So, but really good question. So you get the gold medal at the, no, you are currently on top of the podium, but you could be removed with a better question. We'll see.
Yeah, remains to be seen. I actually think I need to think of some questions then that's incited my competitive interest.
You are competitive, that's for sure. You want to think of a better question, and all of a sudden you're going to put that in as if it's somebody else, but then you're going to reveal that it's really you asking that question. So, I know your game.
But it's funny, you know, talking about competitivity, because again with Kirsten yesterday, I keep referencing it because I found it enlightening, but we as competitors, so we're watching a competition, we are watching elite athletes often taught by former world best coaches, and so then inherently so much of their way of life has been about being the best, and yet now as I get older and as Kirsten has become a coach, is thinking about, well, what's the best for the human, and even the environment as a bigger aspect. And it's just interesting because I am inherently very competitive, and yet I am at odds with that competitivity all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. How do you get better without pushing the limits, and how do you do that in a way that doesn't feel, you know, sort of invasive? So I don't know. It's very difficult language, that's for sure. A very difficult topic to talk about, but that's just life. Life is weird and strange and wonderful and brilliant and all those types of things. So we enter the final minute of the warm-up in group number 3 in the pair event. This will be followed, of course, by the women's free program, and there'll be medal presentations at the end of the night for both the pairs and the women's. And tomorrow we'll conclude week number 4 on the Junior Grand Prix with starting with the men's free and finishing with the free dance.
And then we're definitely past the halfway point, and then we will have a much greater understanding of what's going to happen or who's vying up for the...
In fact, I would say right now, 3 o'clock here, we are we're pretty close to the exact halfway point of the Junior Grand Prix.
Yeah, well, we're halfway through the pairs event, and this is the middle event of the day. You are right, we are entirely halfway through.
Wow, what a good guess. All right.
And it's just interesting to see then whether or not it's tactical or whether or not it's by the federation as to which teams have positioned themselves to compete in the earlier stage, because of the likes of Jasmine Desrochers and Kieran Thrasher and Olivia Flores and Luke Wang, who we'll see in the next group. They're done after this on the Junior Grand Prix unless they're competing in the final.
Yes, and that is the goal, and that will be the battle. Here we go. Group number 3, pairs, free program.
And now to Irina Napolitano and Edoardo Comi, their free program debut for the season. Well, I understand Irina Napolitano's frustration, but I think that's not the ideal way to step up and away from your partner as she takes Eduardo Comi's hand. And I think it's important to note that they had explained, obviously, that Eduardo's been through so much. He was attacked in Monzo Station just after Junior Worlds, fractured metatarsal and the bone edema, which I mentioned after the short program, forced him off the ice for 3 months. He's gone through a lot right now. He didn't want those lifts to go down.
Yeah,
he
I
needs
don't
support. I don't condone that.
I have a problem with that. I do. I'm speaking up right now. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
There's the double twist.
Yeah.
There's a nice triple Salchows. Lovely. Good start. Let's see what this lift, difficult entry. Toe, group 5 toe lift. We don't often see a lot of those. You can see right there his knees starting to go down and he knows it's in trouble. What did he do? He saved the lift. He saved her from going down harder. So that was good on his part to be more careful. There's the throw double loop. There's the group 3 lift. What happened here? He just he turned before he got her turning. And so when that went down as well. And this here, if you do see this, that's not correct.
No, that's
Sorry.
not cool.
That is not cool. That is not cool.
Yeah.
That has no place in this sport, in pairs or in dance.
No, I completely agree, and I understand why Eduardo wouldn't want to come close for a picture.
No.
And we understand everybody's desperately eager to do their best. Everybody wants their best. But the pairs in the dance discipline, we're talking about the dynamics between, a united front. It's not easy. We don't know what's going on behind. We don't know how the training environment is. But ultimately, when you go out there for performance, you're united. And if you push yourself to compete and represent your nation, you want to do so as a united front. And
it's the hardest days of your partner's career are the days that you need to be there to support them. You need to be there to support them. It's hard sometimes because one day it's going to be you. Another day it's going to be the other person. You have to be together. If you don't, that's a crack. That's a crack that's hard to mend sometimes. And so, yeah. Wow. Okay. I leave this topic because I feel... Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe you're right. We'll move on.
I know what you were going to say.
Yeah. Moving on.
Torino. Yeah. But... yeah, it's not. I mean, we understand it's frustrations and all that kind of stuff like that. But my gosh, you got to be a team. You have to support each other. Enough said. Our free program score 71.46. That is 5th for Irina and Eduardo. Total competition score of 113.90, and that will put this team currently to 4th place.
And now to the very young but very talented and exciting team of Laura Heckova and Alex Valky. Laura Heckova and Alex Valky. That's the kind of empathy between partners that we want to see at the end of a performance. Not optimal, and I think a little bit of a lack of awareness of what exactly the intentions were, because the side-by-side triple salto by one, double salto looked more intentional by Alex, but we'll have a look back on the slow-mo replay.
Yeah, a nice and interesting looking team. And we, you know, this is 73.21 they've had in their previous event. And she reminds us, we talked about this off air, she reminds us of a number of different top international pair skaters from the past. We'll see what happens in her career, but and that double twist comes in at a level 2, so missing. There's a group 5 toe axle toe lift, and there's nice position, nice basic lift, but nicely done. Here's the throw, double salk out, solid landing, straight back, stretch free leg, really nice. Group 4 lift, reverse direction rotation, and back the other direction, release of the hands, grab the blade. So there's some features there, and that is in at, yeah, level 4. I see that. Back out to Despero, nice. This gets a level of level 1. And the last spin, last part of the pair combination has been right at the end of the program.
And I think what's so brilliant for Laura and Alex is that they have found one another, found a good, seemingly a good physical match for one another, and that they are together at such a tender age, and that their families have supported this move to Bergamo, to the training centre of excellence there with the likes of Luca D'Amati, part of the coaching staff. And so all the stars seem to have aligned. I'm sure there's been great, huge sacrifice from them and their families to get to this point, but now should they stay there at the ages that they're at, the future's very bright.
Oh yeah, they look terrific for this stage. I mean, 13 and 15 is so young, and they're so good already with the basics at this young age. As they grow and become physically stronger and more experienced and more comfort and comfort, and combine their partnership, will continue to grow as they spend more and more hours on the ice together. 73.13 for Laura and Alex, and that'll put them for the moment into 4th place in the free program with a total competition score of 117.94, and that'll put them, at least for the moment, overall into 4th place. And they seem pretty happy with that.
And a great shot of Coach Stefania Barton in between her students, Elizabeth Hansen and William Church.
Oh, that's unfortunate, Mark, right at the end. They did such a beautiful program and had some challenges with some of the small dance lifts.
Yeah, shame that the program finished without the ballet type lift. I think I can imagine the concept for the finish position, and William tried to get it to happen again. Just
yeah. But I really like
an example of new team.
I really like this team. I think that they showed class and style, and maybe conservative to some degree at the beginning, but that's exactly what they should be, is just get some experience together. And we see very smart to not put too much movement in a sort of a jazzy type of thing here. And there's the triple twist in at level 1, which is fine. Here's the double axles. They both get that done. A little far apart, of course. You'll work on that. Back outside Despero, this was really good. Look at the position. Is her head down low enough? They get a level 2 on this, so they've got 2 of those features. Beautiful extension with a free leg. Nice exit right into the pair combo spin, and that was a really nice combination of elements. There's that group 5 reverse lift. That is not easy. Change of hands, change of hold. Grab the blade. That comes in at a level 4 with a plus GOE, so that's good. And this last lift, though, was a bit of a problem. Oh, did I get it here? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. That other lift came down, yeah. And then we tried these ones, but I know the hands were just sitting on the outfit. Yeah, let's just get into the final position. So it was kind of cute in a way.
And again, we mentioned it perhaps in the ice dance competition, but I think it's so great to see different coaching setups. So Stefania Berton, she was a successful pair skater, and she previously trained in Italy with Franca Bianconi. Now, Italy's got this amazing emergence of brilliant teams in Bergamo, and Stefania hailed from that years ago, and now she's taking it to her new training location in the United States. And I just think how exciting to see other upcoming coaches eager to create.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool. We've seen male pair skaters start the coaching, but now we're seeing more female. We talked to Kirsten Moore Towers, and we saw Stefania here. You can see, and I think that they bring such a different, approach, a different aspect to it. So it's lovely to see. Yeah. Free program scores 78.20. That is 4th in the free program, with the total competition score 125.46. And whoa, voila, there you are in first. Nice. Finally, we get a little nod of approval from Elizabeth. Lovely. There it is. Top 5 teams so far in the competition. Final group taking to the ice, and let's take a look at the point differential. And first is DeRoche and Thrasher, 59.41, and Flores and Wang from the United States, just about, they're less than 5 points out of first, so that is not insurmountable by any means. And Ehrhard and Pellegris from France, and they're about 4 points out from second. So we will see what happens in this discipline. A fall on an element or 2 falls on solo jumps, I can take a lot away. So everybody is a little bit vulnerable. You just skate as clean as you can.
Which brings us to the next question coming in, Ted, as we see Jasmine and Kieran warming up their skating skills with the back crossovers. What music would you pick, and what would your costume be of choice should you be participating in the pairs event?
Oh, I thought they meant the adult event. Let's see. No.
There you go.
Okay.
Well,
that's a really good question. I think that, my strategy would be, not with me, with the pair team that I would teach, as I did teach pairs, is I want to have both skaters feel fabulous in their outfit and strong with their music. And strong doesn't mean that it's a powerful, overpowering overture of a big classic or something like that. It means that their stature, their costume, and their music all match to have strength and sensitivity. And so I try to find that piece of music that gave that elegance and yet power at the same time. So I'm not giving you a name of a piece. There's so many of them. I'd have to think about that a little bit longer. But my strategy would be built around that, provided they had the skill to do that. If I was dealing with a very young team, I want something cute that they can identify with and feel not too old for. At the same time, which allows them to have a little bit of charm and the simplicity of the elements. Keep it simple so they can do it. Keep it close so they look good in their simple approach, and something that has a bit of a charm to it. And I'll use the example with Kathy Reed with the ice dance scene she had that we saw, and they skated to, what was that music? Japanese anime?
Like Japanese anime. Is it manga?
Yeah,
but yeah,
Japanese.
Great.
It was a perfect approach for the skill level that they were at. Anyways, there's my answer. How about you?
I suppose it depends if the. For me personally, I really enjoyed hearing there's some music being used by a few of the skaters, and actually I think the Japanese team opening this group skating music by Cody Fry, and it's nice when you hear a piece of music that somebody's using, you think, oh, I haven't considered that, that's not on my playlist. I appreciate that. But in regards to music choice, this year the skaters, the coaches, the choreographers need to be really clear that they have music that is usable. So I think that's something that has thrown a few people this season, and actually it's a question that I want to pose a little bit more intensely as to whether or not there are bigger ramifications of that. I understand it has to, is it Ted, click and clear? I got it wrong last time. It's not click and clear.
Click and clear. Yeah, no, it's
click and clear. And I know that there's some leeway given to the skaters this season because it was something that was released in a communication beyond when many of the athletes would have already choreographed their new season's material. But that's a factor that's something that's relevant for this season. If I was, just as you've said, choreographing or coaching a team, it would be very much age and stage dependent. And I'm admiring when I've heard of skaters that I've researched whose coaches have said we've chosen something to push their development as opposed to push just them getting the most points at present. And Jason Brown was very vocal about how his coaching staff had been eager to diversify his choices, and I think that's bold and that's brave because it's easier for a coach to choose something that is judge friendly. And actually even whilst we've been on air, I've had a coach message me saying, oh, do you think that we should change the program because the judges don't like the choice? And I'm thinking, for me, no. I think that normally the skating scales dictate so much of the components that even if it's not perhaps the most judge-friendly choice, if you hone in on improving the glide and the flow, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, and I think that the choice of music and the approach you take is at the stage of development for sure. And you do want to push the skater, but you also don't want to push them so far that they go backwards. So you're trying to push them forward with something that they cannot do, that they do not like it, but you're trying to show a new genre. Okay, that's going to put it backwards. So you do want to challenge them, at the same time give them something they're proud of and want to work towards. But if you feel that, and quite often we've seen skaters, not quite often, but sometimes we see skaters at the higher level can a program in the mid-season because it's just not working, right? So, no, it's an interesting topic, and you know what? We're not the ones, you probably are more than me, but the choreographers would have a lot of input on that, and it would be interesting to talk to your, Laurie Nichols and Caitlin Weavers and David Wilsons and, all the great choreographers around the world, Benoit Rousseau and, all those people.
Yeah, and it's just, ooh, wow, that looked a bit sore. It's so interesting when you mention the choreographers because I've raved about like Julie Marcotte, who's
yes, Julie, yeah.
I think she's probably done the Canadian leading team choreography. I'll double check. And then I've raved about Laurie Nichol, and we've seen some amazing work by Benoit Richaud. But understandably, each choreographer has their strength, so they will each individually have a penchant for a certain stylization, and so the skaters even maybe have to factor that into their decision of choreography.
Yeah, it's a good question with a no defined answer. So,
yet again, we dodge the bullets.
Yeah, exactly. They're saying, what are these guys talking about? Stop asking these questions that they ramble on for hours. Right? Here we go, the final group. Medals will be determined. The champion will be crowned as we start.
And opening this group, sorry, briefly lost connection there. Sei Shimizu and Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda representing Japan, skating to music by Cody Fry. Well, charming skaters, charming program for Sei Shimizu and Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda sharing an embrace, and it's so interesting to see these two very accomplished single skaters coming together, joining forces, and indeed staying in the junior ranks. Ted, I'm so intrigued to know what will be the process for this team moving forward. Having, as I said, already brought together such great individual skills, what the coaches will do, because obviously the throws and the pair elements are newer to them and thus weaker, and what will they do in terms of the restructuring or the relearning perhaps of of the throws.
Yeah, well, clearly you can see the difference between their pair capabilities and their single capabilities. And quite often when single skaters join pair skaters, they maybe spend enough time to get it somewhat closer. But this is really clearly a separation. You can see the double twist there. They get it done. That's good. It's not very high. Throw. It's not really a throw. It's sort of hands on the hip, and she does her triple salchow by herself, but that's okay. Triple Lutz, amazing, unbelievable. Double axles, fantastic, no question. So single skills, absolutely outstanding. The lifts, not bad. We see the Group 5 reverse lift. That's okay. We go up, watch her leave the hand on the back, change the position, grab the knee or the blade. So that's actually all pretty good. Good mechanics there, and that's coming through. That's in at a level 4. And the forward inside desk barrow, this is fine. This pair element is not bad. Comes in at a, what do we got here? Forward inside desk barrow level 2, so getting 2 out of the 4 features. So that's under construction nicely. But it's just the throws right now are significantly different than the other teams. But hey, listen, they're working with Bruno Marcotte and his team, and you know this man has got a vision, and he is on an agenda for them to learn things in an order. And so don't doubt that this team will be a very strong team as time goes on, as they gain experience.
Well, that's it. I was thinking, well, I know that with the coaching staff that they've got, that they're going to get that sorted. I just want to see, we'll see the result of it over the coming months and seasons. It's just, having not been a pair skater, think, oh, where are they going to start with that? I'm intrigued.
No, I think they've started, and I think they're on their way. It's just that, you know, it's not often you would see a throw like that with their abilities, but I understand it. They're going, you can do a triple salchow, put the hands on the hips, let's get it a throw. We'll work on these other things. Yeah, exactly. Get the points in, we'll do the desk bar, we'll get the lifts going, we'll deal with the throw a little bit later. Clearly that's a strategy to give themselves time to develop other aspects, and then they'll come back to that element. And that won't be an issue for this team. The throw triple salchow will be a beauty.
They are such a really aesthetically pleasing team. They're just so easy and effortless to watch.
Yeah, really nice. This is going to be a very interesting team to watch as it all comes together. Maybe this year, maybe next. But they're on that path. Let's take a look at the scores. 92.15, that's the season's best. And a smile and a handshake, I guess that was. Fake hand, high five. That's first of the free program with a total competition score of 140.19. That Jose and Lucas currently into first place. Well, they put the pressure on number 3, and that's next.
And now to the team who were 5th in Riga in Latvia, their first stop on the Junior Grand Prix. Louise Ehrhard and Matti Pellegris. And they skate to Peter Gabriel's My Body is a Cage. Louise Ehrhard and Matti Pellegris. A difficult skate, and it's now a question of maths as the inputs are made by the tech panel and the judges, because we've had teams coming and approaching this free skate with totally different planned program contents. The difficulty of the two throw triples wasn't to their benefit on this occasion for Louise and Matti with the two falls that took place.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be tough to hold on to that position that they're currently in. But once again, a demonstration of good support, communication together as they come off a frustrating program, but they come off as a team. Let's take a look at some of the elements here. Here's the triple twist. And this comes in a level 2, so they're getting 2 of the features, 2 out of the 4 features there. There's the double axles. Get that kind of done. Foot goes down for Louise. Far apart, single axle. And another single axle. Not great quality for sure, but there's the throw triple loop. Checks out a little, actually too early. And there's a group 5 reverse lift. Change of hold. Change of position, and that comes in level 4 with a plus GOE of 0.47, so that's pretty good. Oh, they're going to need an 89.79 to take the lead, and they're going to fall short of that with that program. There's just too many mistakes on this day. You can see that the base core of what they do is good. I mean, they're a good pair team. It just wasn't their day, and maybe it's just still early in the season and maybe not enough run-throughs, I don't know, but I had a lot of mistakes today.
Yeah, and they will be wanting to follow in the footsteps of Romain Telemaque and Lucas Coulon, who medalled at their Junior Grand Prix for France. So there's a good competition in French developing pairs, and their coach Mehdi Bouzé obviously doing a good job at generating that discipline in their training base.
I love the fact the communication between the two right now. The coach isn't even involved with this. Both Louise and Matthias are speaking together, maybe analyzing, talking about it or whatever, but together. This is what teamwork is, and as a coach, you want to see that happen. You want to see that communication.
And they're both university students, so they're both highly academic, highly intelligent people, and so you're considering 2 elite humans who both have the capacity to analyze. Coach can't get a word in,
and not take it. Yeah, exactly, and not take it personally, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Can your intellect outrule? Can your intellect overrule the emotion of the moment? And that's really hard. I mean, it's so easy to say.
And to have that the logical approach to what has just taken place, as opposed to just the emotion that can override so easily.
Well, we'll take a look at the scores, but this team's got some abilities and some skills, there's no question, but today was a rough outing. 79.54, that is 4th in the free program, with a total competition score of 129.96, and that'll put them currently into 2nd place with 2 teams to come. The Americans and the leaders from Canada. Here we go.
And now to Olivia Flores and Luke Wang. Lion King, the music for the World Junior silver medalists.
open.
Well, I think that has to be one of the best choreo sequences in the pairs event that I've seen. Just an amazing demonstration of the flexibility and range that Olivia Flores and Luke Wang have in their movement and in their transitional capabilities. That was brilliant. And the team here, still not fully satisfied, but the second throw triple salto, which they had the fall on Riga being landed, just gives a whole different feel to the power of their Lion King.
Yeah, they had a really good opening, I think, to this program, and then had some challenges midway through, and then fought back with a couple of nice elements. And one of the pair lifts went down. We'll take a look at that and see what happened. That was a little bit unexpected, but you can see the opening choreography here. Here's the twist, and this comes in level 3. So triple twist level 3, that has a 6.51 points for that one element. And this is pretty good here. Double axles, hangs on, double, single and double, and then, but she puts 2 foot down, so losing some points on that. There's the triple salchows, no problem on that. You gather a good 4.91. Good 5 lift. Watch what happens here. We'll just see the hand seems to slip right there on the hip, and it comes down. Throw triple loop, that was a problem, landing too far back on the heel, couldn't get the free leg back, but this was successful. Watch how beautiful she lands here, right on top. Beautiful alignment in the air, bends the skating leg, absorbs the landing. Nice.
Yeah, really good. And a shout out to, well, actually, Olivia and Luke are both very vocal about the gratitude they have to their coaches, Natalia, Drew, and Eddie Shipstead now as well. And I have to say, Drew Meekins has done a great job with choreography as well. And we've talked about how the ice dance choreographers tend to double up as coaches. It's not, I think, as common that the pairs discipline would have the coach and choreographer, but really, really good job in regards to choreo of this team.
I think this is a great vehicle, not only because the music is powerful. It doesn't matter how many times you hear this music, you can't help but get some chills. If the skating can give you chills, match with the music giving you chills, then you're frozen, right? It's going to be a big hit. And this program, when it hits everything, it's going to be very, very powerful. It already is. Season best 92.87. That is first in the free program for Olivia and Luke, and they will gather a total point score for the competition 147.80. They are in first place with one team to come. They have the silver in their hands. Can that change to gold? Well, that's going to be up to the next team. And they come from North America, north of the border from Canada.
So it was a silver and 13 points in Riga for Jasmine Desrochers and Kieran Thrasher. Can they maintain the lead after the short program and take 15 points and a guaranteed ticket to the final? But that's just such a vision of such unity there at the end of the program, and you almost sense from Kieran Thrasher there the pressure on trying to maintain that lead when he hugs his partner Jasmine Desrochers, and they've got such glorious support from fellow members of the Canadian team.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, I felt this whole way that, you know, when they came down the side of the boards to take the ice after the Americans had just finished skating, they face the nemesis, which is, can we produce two good programs to take a title? We didn't last time. We're a fairly new team. We weren't able to do that really last year. Can we do it now? And that is eye on eye focused. And I think for the most part, they did a pretty good job in this. There's some mistakes, no question, but they also have some really good qualities. And triple twist, that's in at a level 3 with a plus GOE of 1.47. That's huge. Here's the throw triple loop. Both throws were a problem, but she stood up on her feet. Jasmine kept on her feet. That was, yeah, no question. Double axel, you were commenting on this, Mark?
Well, just because I'd seen Jasmine fall on this in warm-up, the second axel, so then when that resides in the skater's brain space after warm-up, and so then to see her obviously dig deep and make sure that it doesn't happen when it counts just gives me such respect.
No, Jasmine, she's really had tough warm-ups, but come back in the program itself in competition and just fought her way. That is a really good sign that she's a fighter at the moment you most need it. And here is a look at the throw triple salco. This is another, looks like she stood up on this. It looks like she's got it, but then takes the fall there, which is a bit odd. But here's that group 3 lift near the end of the program. That's in at a level 3.
Ted, you could, as we were talking off air, you can see, say, Shimizu Yoshi Honda, who shared the same coaching staff as them watching ringside, and it's fascinating to know that the coaches have such different teams with different strengths, and if they can train together, they can hopefully embrace each other's, assets.
No question.
Push forward, united.
I think they're going to be okay with this program with a 100.36, season's best. That's first in the free. The total competition score for Desrochers and Thrasher of Canada with a 159.77. They take their title here and they punch their ticket to the Junior Grand Prix final in Grenoble in early December. Smiles all around, and not the full mission, but part of the mission have been accomplished here. 2 pretty good programs in the short and the free, and lots of potential, lots and lots of potential. They're special. As we take a look at the final standings in this event, and that was really exciting. There's a lot of promising young teams coming up and some more depth now as we take a look at the top 3 and the rest of the field. Well, that concludes our coverage of the pairs free program. Up next will be the women's free program. You won't want to miss that. Stay with us. We'll be back with the women's free right after this.